I got into games. I actually studied film and communications, so it was very media-centric. And I thought about going into TV, film, games, and I just thought games were more interesting. I really liked the combination of technology and entertainment. So I knew I wanted to do something in entertainment, but I found that technology, because it sort of weaves through games, it means that like what it means to make a game or what a game is constantly changing. And I just found that really exciting. So I guess I came into it very much from kind of almost like a academic interest or an interest, and then always been very focused on audiences and what would get people involved and make something really popular. SingStar was developed over both a short time and a long time. The first version was made actually quite fast when you think about game projects. You know, the very first one we were 12 people and made it in less than a year and a half. It had been kind of incubated a little bit as a technology beforehand, but to make a new IP, pretty much a brand new team, peripheral-based game in a year and a half is really fast. The very first version sort of had a little bit of everything. It was a little bit party game, it was a little bit career mode, which is where most of the games that were similar to SingStar placed themselves. They were very much about the fantasy of being a pop star or a rock star, and all about building his career and going through the levels and stages. So we actually had a little bit of that. We had a career mode in the first game, as well as just the kind of party game, no story, no narrative, no characters. You are who you are. You know, you're playing against your boyfriend or you're playing against your dad. You know, you play yourself. You know, you don't play a character. Shortly after the first release, we found that the game really came alive when it was just about you having a good time. And the game itself was about you and your friends and all the different scenarios that would bring. You know, the comedy of your dad singing Dancing Queen by ABBA, or, you know, the comedy of you know, beating your friend. It wasn't about the narrative or the story that we invented in the game. So we just made it a party game, a total, you know, extroverted, raucous party game, and focused on that. So we continued to evolve a little bit of the multiplayer aspect. And SingStar, the most important thing to people really was the music. It was the music. It was about whether they were singing the hottest new pop songs that they heard on the radio, or whether the disc had the nostalgic songs from their youth. So we had to concentrate all of our effort on the content and really delivering more music and more songs, because the narrative and the story and the enjoyment was in each and every one of those songs. They all had different moments and memories. So we focused on the music, and we released version after version very, very rapidly, you know, over its lifetime. I mean, it's still going, obviously, but, you know, there's probably 140 plus different versions of SingStar. And as a designer, you also have to know when to rein yourself in, is to not invent new gameplay necessarily and new modes that would A, potentially complicate the experience and take it away from being very, very simple, just pick up and play, and B, just sort of redirect your effort into an area that maybe isn't exactly what people want. They don't want new modes, they want more songs. So that's what we really had to focus on. I think it was you know, successful because, I guess, a couple of things. It kept it simple, pick up and play, no complicated manual required. You didn't have to be an amazing player, you know, where you'd be intimidated to play against somebody else who knew how to play and you didn't. There was none of that. There was like, everybody was equal. You just picked up the game, picked up the microphone and started singing. And it had that kind of multiplayer social aspect. And I think those things are really important. I think your daily life and your friends and who you interact with and who you hang out with is your entertainment on a daily basis.